Yeah, it's apparently that
But you
time of
look
the
good
year
as.
when
Oh,
people
I thought it was that time of the month.
when
Okay.
people fly to Cuba
Yeah.
and all these social media cigar people dress up like fucking parrots, yeah,
Yeah.
because they pop on screen,
Yeah.
and so that's why I'm wearing a pink shirt and a
Okay.
Havana suit as some form of tribute to this industry in which I
Okay.
partake in as a hobby. I've no real skin in the game other than the pounds and dollars that we spend on dried leaves and paper.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, this is the butt end. You remember from last week? I like smoking
Yes.
the
Butts.
remnants of the smoke the night before the next
Yeah.
day. It's
Yeah.
just the way I am.
I know.
And I could apologize for it, but I'm not going to because
I
I'm
wouldn't. Yeah.
relatively unapologetic. Stephen, man,
Well, yeah,
forget
Dave,
all
how you
this
doing?
cigar talk. Forget all this cigar talk.
Yeah.
Forget for once. Forget it. How are you,
Yeah.
sir?
I am
I
doing good.
actually, I
And we're
would like to
live, so
spend
the
this
fans will hear about
episode
it.
with
Yeah.
me talking less and you talking more. I find that most of these episodes, I do a bit of a
Mhm.
rant and rave,
Really?
and I partake of information.
I
But
never
on
knew
this
that.
particular occasion, I
Yeah.
would like and love to hear how you're doing. How is life?
Wow.
How is your smoking journey coming along? What have you been
Good.
drinking as of late? I'm
Okay.
far more interested in hearing your voice than hearing my voice. And unfortunately, the problem is with my voice
There you
is
go.
that it just goes rambling on and on and on. And what people do is put the mute, the volume button down.
Right, right.
So they're listening to the show, but they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
listening. And then suddenly you'll say something or smile says, boom, boom, the interest peaks.
Well, the fans love you because we know that because they tell us how much they love you, and then when they interact with you in London, we get to hear those stories, and that's nice. It's not
I
every day you get to tell fans to go fuck themselves. So
I
it's that love I think that they like. So there you go.
in my
Mm.
culture, but you might be able to sort of have you might identify with this because
Yeah,
we live in a world of how you identify as, yes.
sure.
You might identify with this. When you slag someone off, when you insult someone
Yeah,
from the heart, you do it because
yeah.
you're close to them and you can get away with it.
Don
And
Rickles.
that New York thing that you guys do,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
do a fucking running jump, all that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
crap, yeah. Now, I don't quite know why I have this in me, other than I think it's the settled place. That's where I've settled. I've
Ah,
settled on being not a hater. I'm not really a hater. If I hate, I have a fucking good reason to hate.
okay.
So if you're the object of my hate, it's because I've calculated it and analyzed it, and analysis starts with anal.
Right.
I've analyzed
Same
it
done
and
anal.
worked it out, and to my satisfaction, I've realized you're a fucking monkey of a human being, and you're
Oh,
not
well, there
worth
you
it.
go.
And I don't mind saying that out loud because you might think that way of me. And if you're
Yeah,
one of those hypocrites that thinks something and doesn't say it, then go and fuck yourself as well.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
it and say it, but if I love someone, I
Yeah.
entirely show
Mhm.
respect. I show some level of subservience. Is that a good word? Is that a bad word?
I
I
don't know.
will.
I don't think subservience. I think respect is good because subservience is a whole nother. You start going a whole nother path because you're
I
not
may have picked
subservient.
I may have picked the word incorrectly there,
Yeah.
but just like you, Stephen, because I watch all your other programs on this channel. You have a plethora, a Rolodex, a portfolio of programs.
Yeah.
I used a few synonyms there just
I'm
so that we
kind
get
of very impressed. I'm going to write that down. So,
but you also a man of strong likes and dislikes. I've seen
oh yeah,
this.
oh yeah. I
Mm.
make no qualms about it. And here's one of the things that people don't really know about me, and I'll just put this out there so they do know. If I don't like you or don't respect you, I won't eat at the same table with you.
Thank you.
I won't have dinner. I mean, like I've had people go, "We're going to go to dinner with so and so." I'm like, "No, I'm good." I mean, I'm talking business meetings, and I'm like, "No, I'm good. I have something to do, and I'll just catch you guys later for scotch and cigars." And they'll look at me, and and people that know me that have worked with me for years will be like, "He doesn't like that person. Like, there's no deal here. We're just going to dinner." So, yeah, I'm very, very cut and dry about how I feel about people.
Talking about being cut and dry,
Yeah,
now that we've done the small talk,
yeah.
titles.
Oh, we should run the show. Okay, here we go.
Here's the pause.
This is True OF Entertainment.
Welcome to Habanos Saturday, the fastest growing cigar show on YouTube with over 100,000 subscribers. Come join us every Saturday live. Every Saturday live.
All right, we are back. So, and I'm assuming Usman got the message. So I don't know if he's. I'm assuming he's showing up at some point.
In my book,
Oh, here we go.
Usman is absolute king.
That's very true. We
See,
need the.
you see behind people's backs, complimentary. The ones I don't like, they can fuck off.
There you go.
Um, I have a little flavor for this particular episode.
Okay.
Now, since all the glitterati, the wannabes, the aficionados, enthusiasts,
Right.
industry participants, industry parasites,
Okay.
suckers up, influencers. I'm trying to include everyone. I'm trying to be
I got that.
inclusive here, yeah?
I see that.
The he's, the she's, the they, thems, the straights pretending to be gay, the gay pretending to be straight, the
Wow,
ones who
this
are
is all
straight, the
inclusive.
whole damn shebangle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The clowns, the magicians, the
Sure.
professionals, the amateurs are all flying in to the perhaps arguably, they wouldn't say arguably, the most important event in the calendar for cigars,
My
which is
birthday.
happening.
Oh.
I now this is to do with how you identify. If you identify as the
Right.
most important person in the room, then your birthday is the most important event
Well, this is goes
in
without
the year.
saying that I'm the most important person in the room. I don't know. That's just crazy
It's the
talk.
most important annual event, not
Yes.
anal event, annual
There you
event
go.
in the year. Um, no, the Habanos Festival is about to
Okay.
commence.
Wow.
I can't remember the number of the Habanos Festival. I would prefer to go with the Habanos Festival 2025,
Okay.
which is happening in Havana, organized by Habanos. This year centered around the new release of the Bihique cigar. Wish I'd had a Bihique open here for you, but that's unfortunate because my plan was to have smoke a Bihique on next week's program whilst the festival has
Sure.
just wrapped up, and I will smoke something
Okay.
very, very special on this program to sort of pay homage
Good.
to a really forget the cigars for a moment. Truly great gathering, a truly great
All
event
right.
of
Are you
very
going?
important people in the industry.
Are you
I'm
going to
sorry.
Cuba? Are you going to Cuba for the event?
Uh, it's happening in almost the next 2 days. So unless I'm on a
No,
plane tomorrow morning, I
probably
don't
not.
think I'm going to make it. Having
Okay.
said that, if you do
Yeah.
want a little nugget, if I'm alive by the end of this year, because we all have to, we have to keep these. I shall be in Cuba around November. Now,
Okay.
for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you can work out why I would be there in November. And those who haven't got
Sure.
a clue, I'll just be there in November. If it's
There you
important
go.
to you, it is. And if it isn't, it isn't. So, um, the Habanos Festival
Yes.
seemingly seems to be a little bit more, if not very much more, geared to actual industry participants who
Okay.
promote that industry globally. So it's a very
Right.
important event for them. It's sort of like it's like any other conference, well, conference or gathering where you get a chance to meet everyone in the industry in one place. You sort of exchange intellectual ideas about how the industry should move forward, its marketing, the products, the cigars, etc. Ostensibly, it looks like a time for people to enjoy themselves, but I
Right.
suspect many, many people who are real professionals get a hell of a lot of work done there. They plan out the series of cigar releases throughout the year, how to market them, the products, the accessories, the humidors, and very importantly, prices and how this
Oh wow.
market, this very limited market, if you think about the Cuban cigar industry, I mean,
Right.
uh, it's a few valleys of tobacco leaf growth. It can never be.
Right.
You can't scale it up to growing those leaves around the world. It's sort of a cottage industry that's blown up into a global phenomenon. Let's call it a phenomenon, because
Right.
how many cottage industries or even village industries? When I say cottage industries, you know, I don't know what is classed as a cottage industry in your part, or your part of the world, on your side of the pond.
Right.
But like from where I'm from, Pakistan, you'll get cottage industries. They'll make woodwork and they'll make certain cloths and textiles. But in this particular case, the Cuban cigar industry is a global phenomenon,
Well, yeah, that's true.
and the prices, the demand, enthusiasm, and then hence the prices are a reflection of how important or well placed this industry is, how far it's got. Um, some people will say artificially, some people
Right.
will say on its own steam, on its own merit. Um, it is what it is. That's
Right.
up for grabs. That's up for discussion. If you want to immerse yourself in the industry, you can have an opinion about that, and
Right.
I have very strong opinions about that. Having said that, the reason I'm talking in this way is, first of all, there is something on my mind. There is a cigar event I went to. I believe it was 2 or 3 nights ago. What day is it today? So it's
Wait,
Saturday
I can
morning.
tell you exactly when you went because we just happened to have it in our, not for the fans to see, but our little feed. So you went on Wednesday because on
Wednesday
Thursday,
evening.
yeah,
Mm.
Wednesday evening, because on Thursday you sent us um, pictures of this inexpensive cigar in Humidor at AJ's place at number 6 Cavendish. I'll
I
plug
was at
AJ for
number
fun.
6 Cavendish in the evening.
Yes,
Normally they have a sort of they have they have very, very, very good cigar evenings.
right,
This one, and I suspect because they've started a campaign of doing really top end events. They've
right,
started with a bit of a bang. Even, I mean, this is February. They did an event in January which I wasn't able to attend. I was at a different professional event. I sent
sure.
you links for that.
Yep, we have that.
Um, that was for the La Flor de Cana
Right,
Selectors number 3 launch in London. But this month, it was an outstanding event. It took it to another level. It was a Behike cigar
yep,
event. And AJ had live music. I mean, it doesn't really, I mean,
right,
London cigar sampling rooms are a little bit more low key than rest of the world. London is a far more sort of low key place. It's the most vibrant place for smoking
right,
Cuban cigars, but in terms of partying or events, it has a bit more of a toned down, slightly more conservative air.
okay,
But this event um, took that up a notch. Within the sort of, I found a very sophisticated event. There was some great live music, great drinks, great rum pairings,
right,
wonderful BK 52 cigars, absolutely wonderful. But then a treasure box was brought
yes,
out, which I was posting. Now, if anyone's interested in this, some of my posts on my Instagram handle there are
yep,
still carrying this magnificent box, which is the
beautiful.
Cohiba 40th anniversary box
Yep.
made by Elie Bleu. My recollection is there were I think there were 46 cigars,
You said, hold on.
untouched.
I can look. I'll read the whole thing you sent us. First of all, you asked us how much we thought it was. And
Well,
we all got
let
that
me
wrong.
build up to the punchline. Let me
Okay.
build up to the punchline on that one, right? Because
Right.
this is why I started this rant and rave about how important this industry is and why
Right.
people are going there and how it affects pricing. But
And
go for it.
it was 46 sticks in the box.
So it's 46 sticks,
Yeah.
and you can see the pictures of this box.
Yes.
It's a wooden box,
Gorgeous.
but
It's gorgeous.
it's decorated with these square panels of stingray skin.
Right.
I mean, the box in itself is a piece of cigar art. I would
Right.
call it like that. If you're into your cigar world, it is art. And if you're
Yes.
not into your cigar world, if you're not a cigar smoker, you can still perhaps appreciate the craftsmanship that went into this box. Give a shout out to Elie Bleu. Elie Bleu have been making these boxes for ages. They make some of the most expensive and best and beautiful boxes. They make them for the Habanos people. They make bespoke stuff. as do SD DuPont, and there's
I actually
another
have an LA Blue. We call it LA Blue because we can't speak English here, but yeah, I
bleu,
have one of those. It's
bleu,
very nice.
et bleu,
A bleu.
bleu. You
Mm.
gotta pull the stupid, bleu.
Here, well, while you're talking about it, I'm going to see if I can do something for the cigar fans here. Keep going. I may surprise you in a second with something that you may like. Keep going, talking about this nice little cigar thing.
So this box, which is so sticks on this. So I believe AJ. I mean, I've come up with a new name for AJ. I think it's the Cigar Wizard
Okay.
because just like a wizard, he will pull out
Hey now.
very special tricks.
Right.
And there's a bit of a wizarding theme to that. There's a bit of sleight of hand. There's a bit of conjuring. There's a bit of magic. There's a bit of smile on the face. But more than anything else, AJ was sporting his white Gandalf hat
Yes.
and in the white tuxedo with the short lapel. If there was a modern day interpretation of Gandalf in the cigar world, there he is. So I think like I'm a little bit. I go into my fantasy land. If I'm not enjoying myself in an event, I'll conjure up a fantasy in my head and still enjoy myself one way or the other. But I had that view of this guy as a conjurer. Are you about to spring something on me? Go for it.
I was about to, but the problem is because you sent JPEGs, it won't let me upload it because I was going to show a picture of AJ's hat, the humidor, and everything, so I cannot show the fans. So I apologize.
Luckily, then they're not going to be shortchanged because if you go to that Instagram handle in
Yep.
my highlights, in my histories, or even on my current stories, you'll get a fair whack of what the hell's going on. And I
Ooh.
suspect a lot of people you already seen it anyway.
Yeah, I was going to
But
say anybody that follows the channel is definitely. Actually, you know what you did send me, which I may be able to download while you're talking here, is possibly I may be able to get the video up of this that you sent. Let me see if I can download the video, and if I can,
well, well, whilst you're doing that,
yeah, yeah,
let me say that those those cigars
right,
are meticulously maintained and humidified, and AJ's been keeping those boxes. I mean, I can't remember. I was a little bit too much absorbed in the event to remember some of the history. But you can go on their YouTube channel, number 6 YouTube channel. I would suspect the next 2 3 weeks time you'll see the whole event taking place. Uh, the box pricing is the thing that will put a smile on your face, and a smile on your
right.
face. Maybe it's a cheeky smile or a smile of contempt or whatever it is, but it will make you sort of like go, oh my God. Each stick in that box. Well, there you go. That was a
But
bit.
I
There
don't know.
was
I don't know if the
a.
music is copywritten. So I don't know how much trouble we're going to get in by playing it.
I
But anyway,
had
that
I
was
had that
interesting.
problem this morning. I actually chose a nice piece of classical music. I think it was a waltz, possibly by Debussy. I may be wrong about that, and I used that for
Yeah,
one of my stories, and I got a flagging. It doesn't happen that
yeah,
often to me, and this is on Instagram.
yeah.
So I changed the music and reposted. In fact, that my last story features the box.
The box. Yeah.
I had so
So
many
that was a little
photos.
snippet.
Well, I had so many photos and videos that it's like I for
Right.
the past 3 days I just keep posting and posting. To be very
Yeah.
honest, I'm enjoying. I like. What's the point of taking 30, 40 photos and just
There
publishing
you go.
one? One will. There we go. There you go. That's a really handy trick. That is that box. Each stick valued at approximately that one. Yeah, that one's doing really well.
Yeah. I'm
Twenty
just doing this
thousand
since we can't do it.
pounds.
Yeah.
20,000 pounds per stick.
Yeah. So
We're
nine hundred
talking
thousand for the
about
box.
approximately a million. Well, and they're not available to be smoked on their own. You either
Right.
buy the box or you just look at it with disbelief.
Didn't
Um,
someone buy the box?
So people have bought the box. If now, if you can fact check me on these things. I often get stuff wrong, especially when Usman's not around. Usman's not there to
Yeah.
jump in and correct me. So what
Yeah.
you've got here is a total fucking amateur who pulls in bits and pieces of info, remembers some, forgets some. So
Right.
I'm fallible. I'm happy to say if I'm wrong, You're more than welcome to Google it or write in a comment, Reza, you got this one wrong, you got this one right. No problem.
Right.
But my recollection is that 99 boxes were made.
Okay.
It's my recollection. AJ was mentioning that perhaps 30% of those are still in existence because most of those boxes were bought
Right.
by shops and merchants who sold those sticks for a single.
Right.
I think 10 years ago you could buy a stick for about £1,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
The price has gone up based on rarity. So
Okay.
let me put it this way: it's not the price of the tobacco, it's not the
Right.
price of the band, it's the price of the experience
Right. Right. Right.
of
Right.
smoking. So this is the 40th anniversary Cohiba box. It's you're paying now. We live in a world where people are paying for experiences. People are
Right. Right.
paying disproportionate amounts of money, and the new branding, marketing, whatever you want to, whichever description you choose.
Right.
Uh, we live in a world where we're paying for experiences. So you're
Correct.
not paying value for money for a particular product. You're paying for the experience of trying it or owning it or
Right.
collecting it or investing in it even.
Right.
So the question that was asked in the room, AJ, have you ever smoked one of these? And his answer was yes. One of his clients bought one of these boxes some while ago. I
Yeah.
think I can't remember how long ago, some while ago, and insisted that AJ smoke with him. So AJ smoked the
Nice.
cigar. And I do recall no one once asked him how was the cigar.
Yeah.
This is just it. He didn't remember. I don't know if he remembered the cigar as much as he remembered the experience of
Right.
smoking this cigar,
Right.
having shots of whiskey where each shot of whiskey was 4,000 pounds,
Wow.
5,000 pounds, and
Okay.
the experience overtakes the actual
Cigar.
cigar.
Yeah.
Whereas it can be argued that the cigar is the foundation of that experience,
Right.
right? So when it comes to this Habanos Festival or any other
Right.
festivals or any other cigar get-togethers, Habanos did
Mhm.
one here in London last summer for the Trinidad,
Right.
part of which I attended. I should have
Right.
honestly, truth to God, I should have actually attended all the events. I
Right.
chose to attend only two events. Um, that's my bad. I actually should
Right.
have because it's something I, you know what? I enjoy the experience. I
Right.
do enjoy the cigars, but I enjoy the experience. I enjoy the experience of watching different people from different parts of the world interacting with each other. And I'll
Yeah.
say knob, cock,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
knob, idiot. I'm just sorry. I'm just like that. Yeah.
That's okay. You're allowed to be.
I'm not a hater. I'm just a descriptor. If I think that's what it is, right? Okay.
I don't hate you. I'm just describing you. It's
I'm just
okay.
describing you,
Yeah, there you
right?
go.
Yeah, it's a bit of that Don Rickles kind of approach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyway, so the reason why this is prevalently on my mind is this festival that's coming up. I'm
Okay.
actually very much looking forward. I don't know what Usman is going to make of this festival. I don't know where the hell is Usman. Have you
No,
messaged Usman? It would be nice to
I've
have
met,
him on.
maybe, why don't you message him as well while we're live? I've
Because
messaged
I am
him.
incapable of messaging on my phone and watching you at the same time. Otherwise, all you see is fingers. You'll see this.
That's okay. I mean, people can see fingers. The girls will get excited.
Well, there you
So
go.
I messaged him. I messaged him in our group. So,
Massage
but
him.
if you may have to message him individually because he hasn't responded. So I don't know. Maybe maybe Pakistan has no internet today.
Or maybe I know something you don't know.
That could be. Or maybe he's traveling to the Habana Festival. He's traveling to the Habana Festival.
I didn't
That's
say
why he's not
anything.
here.
I said
That's
nothing.
why. Okay, I got it. So,
I
I
said
see how it
nothing.
is. All
I didn't
right.
say anything. I
So
didn't.
basically, so
I
wait.
said nothing.
So you did this for. So yeah, there you go.
Did you infer from? I said nothing. I said
I
fuck
didn't
all.
say it. I didn't say what. So he's going to the Habana Festival, or is he supposed to be showing up at your house? So it's either A or B. He's late then. I'm
Did
just
I
saying.
not see him appear just now?
Well, that's a film that we did.
Well, that film can only be played if
When Usman's here.
Usman
I know.
is
Yeah.
here. Now, would you like to tell everyone what that film is about?
This little
Don't play
snippet.
yet. Tell them what it's about.
So basically, as Usman does, the history of cigars. And every week we pick a cigar brand that's a Cuban cigar. And he tells us the history in somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many times I interrupt him, could go longer. And then we put it out as shorts and a little movie. So what we decided, really Rizza decided, which was a good idea, is that we should have a special intro and a special outro for his cigar stuff.
Segment.
His little 5-minute segment. And we have the
Well, okay. In lieu of Usman being here right now,
yeah,
he's meant to this week. If he doesn't turn up,
right.
we will still, after this program has ended, the moment
Yes.
we have his segment, we will put it up. It'll
Yes.
be his standard 5-minute segment on the history of a particular Cuban brand.
Right.
This week, it is meant to be on the suggestion of AJ last week,
Correct.
Ramon Allones.
Yes. So you'll see. And that's what you'll see. For the
You cut it off early there, but there you go.
Purposely, yes.
So Usman will be doing the history for the Ramon Allones, and
Right.
what we're going to do is we're going to start compiling all his histories on one stream. So
Yes.
if you, as someone who's starting to smoke Cuban cigars, or someone who's well into their journey but wants to hear, stuff about how a particular brand started or how it developed or something unusual about its cigar journey, its cigar story, you'll be able to just wind through those videos and watch basically a database of a real person, not an AI generated figure, who has collected his histories from various professionals and stalwarts in the industry. So I believe that Usman's Ramon Allones history is peppered with stories from AJ Patel himself.
Yeah.
And I'm digging this, but I'm just interested right now to see this 5-minute history. And Usman
There's no
is.
Usman. That's because his
I
plane
don't quite.
probably is late. Is his
I'm
plane
not.
late to Heathrow? Is that why the plane is late to
I'm
Heathrow?
not really at liberty to say anything.
Oh my God! So is either Usman's on his way to Cuba, or Usman is on his way to London. It's either A or B. And so if he's on his way to London, good luck with that.
It
And if he's
could
on
be
his
that he's sitting on the toilet in Lahore and doesn't have Wi-Fi access. It could be that
the
also.
loo, he's sitting at the loo. You mean the loo? Let's be a little. We have a cultured show. Look, I wore a cultured thing from Japan today. Let's be cultured here. So all right. Well,
Well, let's
if
have a look at
Usman.
that again.
I'm sorry.
What
This
is
is what all
this?
the kids are. This is what all the kids are wearing. Yeah, this is my. Yeah, there you go.
Now it's
This is
really
very
strange
dapper.
you're wearing that, because two
Uh,
nights ago I was watching Grease, and at the end John Travolta is wearing one of those. The is it
Letterman sweater.
a huh?
That's a Letterman sweater.
A Letterman sweater. There you go. That was the
Yeah.
word I was looking for. Letterman. And you're wearing a Letterman sweater. What letter have you got on your Letterman sweater?
Well, this is actually it's an offtake of a Letterman sweater. I've got a U.S. patch. I've got an anime character. I've got a
I
number
suspect it was a
here.
Japanese baseball kind
Probably
of
it's a
thing.
Japanese baseball team, and I got this and I like it, and I said, everybody always makes fun of my Bond villain Mandarin jacket, and I was like, today instead of wearing a tuxedo or something, I said, you know what, I'm going to go in my little Japanese baseball outfit. So there you go. So I'm wearing my little Japanese baseball sweater.
I'll give you the Japanese bow.
Thank you very much.
Bow
And
very
the
low.
problem that I can't be smoking a cigar is not only is it raining outside, but it is -3.
Well, we're
So
in sunny London. Well, let me say that the temperature has jumped to a tropical 12 degrees Celsius.
wow,
It is the time of the year. It comes every fucking year. Everyone's got a
right?
short memory. It comes every year without fail. There's 1, maybe 2 days of
Yeah,
warm weather in London, sometime around the end of February, beginning of March. And
right.
everyone thinks, oh, winter is over, summer is here. And then it goes back to sub-zero condition. It happens every year without fail.
Fail, yeah.
So the reason but the reason why I'm sporting my tropical Havana gear is in honor of the Habanos Festival. So
Right.
I made a little bit of an effort to go a little bit tropical. If the temperature does improve, I'll go completely Havana next week. But
Well,
let's see
next
how
week
that.
here, it'll be 8 Celsius. So I'll be, if it doesn't rain, which it's not supposed to, I will be outside with a stogie, with my Dr. Evil jacket, and the fans will be happy. And I will smoke something special in honor of what you're going to, for the Havana special. Well,
You're in Texas.
last time I checked. Sometimes I'm somewhere else because we
You
have
have
the
a
fake
fellow.
background. So
You have a fellow Texan who is in Havana as well, as you
yeah,
know.
Kirby Allison's there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He's invited me to smoke cigars with him, but Kirby is in Dallas. And apparently everybody thinks that Austin and Dallas are 20 minutes away. I could fly to New York in the amount of time it would take me to drive to see Kirby. So at some point, Kirby and I, I'm sure we'll have cigars. We've never had it, but we every now and then text each other. That's about it.
I suspect your neighbors, but you will. This is the way the world is wired. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
probably be sitting in a bar in Singapore, and you'll end up sharing a cigar there, and wondering
Yeah.
why the fuck you never met each other in Texas.
But see, the bet. Well, that's why, because it's Texas. But see, my more enjoyable cigar things are. Oh, by the way, some of the best cigars. I used to be a member of the Havana Club in New York, and some of the best cigar memories I have are there. When I was a member, smoked cigars just by myself, and people would come in, you just start talking, and those are like the best. The oh, by the ways, OBTWs, you like to call them, are always the better memories than I plan to do this and I plan to do that and I plan to do this because it's just more spontaneous. And you never know who's going to show up at the table.
Spontaneous is possibly the best way that you generate memories. But
Yeah.
I am enjoying very much, and I've said this before, but I will say it again because I just went to a really great event.
Yeah.
These are sort of let's call them mini events. These are not festivals.
Sure.
This is like for like 15, 20 people who get together
Right.
and smoke a cigar pretty much in one room. The best thing about that is that everything is manageable in terms
Yeah.
of everything is in your reach. You get
Yep.
great service, whether it's at Tom Tom or Number Six or any other reputable place. I'm not talking about the
Mhm.
disreputable places.
Right. Right. There's only two reputable, and that'd be Tom Tom and
No,
Number Six for me.
no. Actually, if you are really pushing me to go in that direction, yeah,
Right.
there's some
Oh,
pretty
I know.
crappy places in London that
Right.
masquerade as being excellent. Now, let me put my caveat in. It's only
Right.
that I think they're crappy. They're not really
Right.
crappy, but
No, they're
I think
crappy.
they're crappy.
They're
Right?
crappy.
They're crappy for me because they
Right.
don't fit my vibe.
Right.
So whilst you might think I'm a bit of a hater, all I'm doing is giving you a point of view with a bit of emotion thrown in
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't just when it comes to physics, you don't just have a direction, you also have a velocity. So
Correct.
the velocity is the emotion, if you feel
Right.
like it, right? The
Yeah.
direction is there, but there is some velocity with it as
Mm.
well.
Right.
So speaking as a physicist, as a former
Yes.
physicist, or still a physicist, I guess.
Mhm.
But so don't let anyone, you're more than welcome to hate back, right? But
Mm.
I'm not hating on you, it's just so you
Right.
don't suit my vibe. So if you don't suit
Yeah.
my vibe, just won't go in that direction. But
Yeah.
let me say, the London cigar industry, maybe the UK cigar industry, I don't know it so well because I'm very much fixated and focused on London,
Right.
mainly because of the travel restrictions that have been placed on me.
You mean
The
in
gagging
London?
orders, the
In
gagging
London?
orders,
Yeah.
etc.,
Okay. Got it.
etc.,
Got it.
etc., etc.
Right.
No, I do venture out, but I only venture out when I want to venture out. I don't venture out
Right.
because someone asks me to or tells me to.
Yeah.
So yes, uh, vibrant place, sterling merchants, absolutely sterling merchants and suppliers. Some of them are wonderful, some of them are arseholes.
Right.
Some of them are knob ends, and some of them
Mm.
are consummate professionals. And perhaps I may have to turn over a new leaf after this particular episode
Why?
in speaking, well, I mean, you've been doing all the talking, but whilst you were talking, I've come to the conclusion. I've come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
Well, this is not really a forum for me to rant and rave. It's your ranting and
It's your
raving.
show. You do whatever you want. I'm just sitting here looking pretty. Go ahead. So,
Well. No, perhaps I will. I will. Perhaps I should tone down my language a little bit.
why?
I find that people who are nervous
Yeah.
it makes them more sort of like angry and agitated. And I'm not here really to spread negativity. I'm here to spread positivity in a negative way.
There you
What
go.
I like to do is I like to find the good stuff by
Yeah.
eliminating the bad stuff.
I like that.
I like to find the cream on the otherwise milk.
There you go.
I like to sift through the nonsense to find the gold.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, I got it.
So the nonsense has its value because
Mhm.
if the nonsense didn't exist, the
Right.
gold would not have its resplendent value.
There you go.
So the nuggets
Hmm.
of the cigar industry
Right.
is where I like to think that I exist, in places, around people,
Right.
around moments, around events of
Right.
real value. And if they're not, I take the value to them.
Yeah, which is true. And to the people that are watching for the first time and that don't know,
Mm.
you, my friend, and Usman actually move the cigar market. When we do a review of a cigar, talk about a certain cigar, they sell out pretty quick,
Well,
and our sales spike.
it's very kind of you to say that, and I don't know how true that is.
I'm only going
What
based on what you
what
tell me.
what I normally speak the truth. Normally,
Yeah, normally.
I normally speak the truth. But what I do like, and we don't, by the way, we don't do it on purpose.
Right.
People like Usman, myself, and you, Stephen,
Mhm.
we get off on the fact that because we don't have skin in the game. This is the term. We don't have skin in the game.
Right. It's
One of
true.
our great advantages, we can call it the way we want it.
Right.
You don't have to be particularly uh, um, ingratiating of
Right.
products or people. If you like something, you should say you like it. If you don't like it,
Right.
you should say you don't like it. There is an argument that if you don't like something, just stay quiet. But that
Right.
doesn't advance your experience. Your
Correct.
experience, it's like giving feedback to a restaurant about the dishes they serve
Right.
or about customer service. We are customers.
Right.
We're customers. As customers, I think one of the things this industry has forgotten that the customer is the most important part of the whole industry. It's
Correct.
you will find, and this is the kind of thing that rubs up some people that I know the wrong way. Some cigar merchants act as if they are the customers.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
they act as if they are what the industry is about. I'm afraid they're not. They're the professionals or professional purveyors of
Right.
cigars, the merchants of cigars, and it's very interesting. It's very fun to watch them enjoying themselves. But actually, this industry runs because people spend big bucks on
Correct.
Cuban cigars. And when I say big bucks, it doesn't have to be $1 million on a box of cigars. It can
Right.
be £50 on dried leaves. £50
Right.
on dried leaves is a lot of fucking money. I mean,
Yep.
tea is dried leaves, and you don't spend
Mhm.
more than £6 or £7 on a box of
A tea. Correct.
tea,
Diet fried
right?
leaves. Right.
And so the customers are pretty much, in my opinion, in a very important place to
Mhm.
give real and genuine feedback as
Correct.
to what they like, what they don't like. And when I say customers, these are people who are regular smokers, regular buyers of
Right.
cigars. As I said, they don't have to be multimillionaires, but these are
Right.
people that keep this industry exciting.
Yeah.
One of the so I've mentioned Christian before. Christian is
Yes.
the master of Habanos and the general manager at TomTom. One of his favorite cigars is the Ramon Allones Private Selection, which I was smoking last week a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I posted about that. Now,
Right.
this is not the most expensive cigar. Actually, it's a fairly reasonable um low end price cigars. Maybe it's about 30-35 pounds for
Okay.
effectively a robusto size smoke. It's a great fucking cigar. It's absolutely
Right.
great to retrohale. It's a good 1 hour. Well, my smoking times are very distorted.
Mhm.
I smoke
Yeah.
very slowly these days, very slowly, but
Right.
sort of an hour and 15 minute, hour and
Okay.
20 minute smoke. You do not have to spend 6 million quid on a stick to get
Correct.
that enjoyment. You can get it from something relatively simple. And so those are the kind of cigars that regular cigar smokers smoke, or like, the Monte Cristo Open Series that I
Right.
was mentioning to you. It's a very sportsy, accessible,
Right. Right.
relatively accessible price range.
Right.
So Cuban, we're talking about Cubans only at this moment, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I'll fixate about that. We can talk about other stuff at a different time. But if you're not going to get feedback from your customers, if you're not going to listen to what your customers want, and if you're going to drive the industry artificially just by putting fancy bands and fancy
Right.
boxes, that goes a certain distance, but it doesn't go all the way,
Right.
right? Not
Yep.
everyone buys a Rolls Royce. Most people will buy, the
BMW.
lower end cars, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's nice to think that one day you'll buy a Rolls Royce. I bring the car
Right.
analogy in from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but because it's a more accessible analogy, it's something that everyone can relate to and talk about, and then therefore they can understand what cigars are about as well. They
Right.
say, well, they're all leaves, but these ones are, the blend is better, the draw is better, the shape was a special shape. It's not going to
Right.
come out again. It's got a band that's a collector's band. It comes in a box that's beautiful. Once that box is empty, you can keep filling it up with that cigar. That kind of stuff,
Right.
that kind of
Sure.
language. Now, it's only important and relevant to people who smoke. To
Right.
people who don't smoke, they're
Right.
ignorant. They haven't got a fucking clue. So they equate all kinds of smoking in one lump, whether it's cigar. We had this
Right.
conversation.
So let me ask you this: do you think the cigar, when I say industry, I'm just talking about the manufacturers, the Habanos, the will go there, or the non-Cuban people. Do you think they think the customers and the merchants are important, or do you think that they think they're the gods and it's sort of like you smoke what we give you?
I think I have very, very definite opinions on this. I have very
Okay.
definite opinions. My opinions are slightly I can actually find two opposing arguments, and I can sit very comfortably in both. I think
Okay.
I've said this before. I think it's a big marketing trick.
Okay.
It's as much of a marketing trick as credit default swaps were in the banking world.
Okay.
Okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. Um, how is it possible to upsell something so basic?
Right.
Right? How is it
Right.
possible to upsell, right? Ridiculously upsell. Well, one of the advantages that this industry has, especially in regards to Cuban cigar industry, is Cuba is still relatively inaccessible to the US.
Correct.
So there you have something that is like diamonds. It's something you have to drill for to
Hmm.
get them.
Right.
Okay. Or any
Right.
precious commodity, right? Um, and the level of marketing and sophistication of distribution has been refined over basically the last 200 years. This is a sort of
Right.
in terms of global terms, in terms of commercial terms, it's sort of like a 200-year-old history.
Hmm.
I mentioned last week that Hunters and Francow in the UK has been in existence for, Usman corrected me, he said it's about 230 years or
Right.
235 years. So in terms of global marketing, this industry has had its opportunity to refine itself.
Right.
It's a luxury market for people who are discerning and have a palate for something which is a sort of a very artisan product,
Right.
right? So that's the good side of it. So you can make the argument that this is a product. It's gone through a lot of refinement. It's gone through a lot of sophistication. It's a really outstandingly presented product. If you look at that box, I mean, jury's out as to whether it's worth £1 million, but to the right
Right.
person, it's worth £20 million, and to the
Correct.
wrong person, it's worth £5. So
Right.
you can pick something in the middle. I'm not making a judgment call on that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I have opinions about that, but I'm not going to make a. I'm doing a little bit of an analysis here for you. The other side of the market, the other side of thinking is that this is totally artificially inflated prices based
Hmm.
on how much could a cigar cost?
Right.
It might cost £10. It might cost £12. It at a push might cost £20. How can it be
Okay.
worth £20,000?
Right.
Right. So the world is now and has been for a while a very distorted place in terms of real value.
Right.
And that's why I talked about credit default swaps and in the toxic mortgage books. If
Right.
you
2008.
remember,
Sure.
if you remember, uh, which bank collapsed? Bear Stearns. If you remember, Bear
Well, Bear
Stearns collapsed.
Stearns, Lehman Brothers,
So
and
I'll go slightly off piece there. I was dealing with Bear Stearns in 2008. Up
right,
until the month it collapsed, I had some really good deals on with them.
right,
And I remember one of the top guys at Bear Stearns in around August, September 2008, the financial markets collapsed
right.
in December. Do I remember that
Yeah,
correctly? Was
November,
it?
December. Yep.
They collapsed. But I remember this guy saying, and he was an Italian Brit.
Right,
I'm not going to say his name out loud, right?
right.
He said, we have toxic, we have overpriced toxic mortgage books, but it doesn't really matter. And that
Oh,
is what brought the whole
right,
fucking
everybody.
world down. Not just that
Yeah,
bank, the whole fucking world came down.
yeah.
Best Stern, I won't forget that. But the reason why I'm talking about it in the same breath as cigars
Right.
is there comes a point where it's unacceptable to price
Correct.
something
Yeah.
so disproportionately to what it is. There comes a point, there comes a balance. And I think this industry is a particularly sophisticated industry, the cigar. I'm talking about the Cuban
Mhm.
cigar industry here,
Right.
because I think they understand not to burst the bubble. And
Maybe.
the way they don't burst the bubble, the one thing that's going for the cigar industry, the Cuban cigar industry,
Right.
so I don't need to qualify myself, I'm talking about Cuban cigars,
Right. Right.
is that
Right.
there is always only limited output.
Correct.
And God forbid, I mean, let's say they have a farming crisis for 2 years because of some sort of, I don't know, some pest or some adverse weather conditions.
Right.
They already have stock.
Yeah.
And that stock just goes up in price to compensate. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Hmm.
So but there is a limit. There's a limit at which the bubble bursts, and you think, you know what? What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, it'd be
Uh,
interesting if well, because as you know, Donnie and I are close, and we've been talking about me becoming the cigar czar. So it'd be interesting to see if we open up the Cuban cigar market in the United States, what that would do to price and demand. Like I said on the show last week, there's some people that smoke a Cuban cigar just to say they smoked one. There's other people like you and Usman and myself that we know the difference between a Cuban and a non-Cuban. So it'd be interesting to see what that does to pricing, because then for you guys, that your because U.S. market, I think, would dwarf everybody. So, then globally, everyone will be coming here to get Cuban cigars. It'd be interesting to see what the prices then happen, if they can go up higher or if they would come down.
Now,
Yeah,
having spoken at length about Cuban cigars today,
sure.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a tease.
I love to be teased.
I'm smoking. I'm not going to give you the name of this cigar.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the name that I've given it.
Okay.
You're going to be slightly shocked.
Okay.
It's not a Cuban cigar.
It's a Camacho.
It's not a Camacho. I'm not going to tell you the name of the cigar. I'm not going
Okay.
to tell you. I will tell you that I call this cigar the Voodoo Woman,
Really? Okay.
right?
The Voodoo Woman cigar. All
I
right.
can show you the band.
Okay.
Let me
You
let
show
me
me the band if you can find it.
no, let me put something behind it so that you can
Okay.
get the focus on it. So
Sure. And then we'll see if we
let
can guess it.
me let me see if I can.
So you people that are listening on the podcast, Rizza right
So
now
let
has
me
got
put
out
a
his putt.
let me
He's
put a
pulling
Tom
his
Tom
putter.
bag behind it.
Of course,
Okay.
God forbid we don't promote Tom Tom. And there's the thing. It is a Voodoo Woman. It really is. What a
Right.
cool cigar that band that is. Well,
Now
yeah, you
I
have to
won't
tell me
tell
the
you. I'm
name.
not going to say anything else.
Is it a good cigar?
I'm smoking a cigar that you don't know the name of.
Yeah, that's not unusual.
I'm calling it the Voodoo Woman.
Is it good?
I've shown you the band, and it's
Yeah.
not from Cuba, and I'm not going to tell you where it's from either.
But is it a good smoke?
I'm not going to tell you that either.
Will you tell me off the air?
I'm not going to tell you that either.
So Well, how did you acquire the Voodoo woman?
I can't tell you.
So is this why Usman's not here because he's being detained right now and they're waterboarding him because of the
What
Voodoo
I
woman?
can tell you, what I can tell you,
Sure.
that's everything I can. I can tell you that
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the Voodoo woman,
Okay.
and I've shown you the band. So if
Yeah.
anyone was interested, they could screenshot it. They could put, And once we're off air,
Yeah. Yeah.
I might tell you about it.
See, now if they screenshot it, they'd have to stop the video. I can't do it live because what I would do then is I'd use ChatGPT and go find me the cigar, and ChatGPT would find me the cigar with the screenshot.
And the most important part of this cigar
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that I can't tell you what I think of it either.
On or off the air.
Yes, pick one.
I love it. Okay, so we don't know where. For all we know, this cigar is from Pluto, and so we're not. All we know is it's a non-Cuban, and you seem to be
Men
enjoying
are
it.
from what is that
Men
famous
are
book?
from Mars
Men are
and
from
women are
Mars
from
and women are
Venus.
from Venus.
Yeah, there you go. Cigars from Venus. I love it. This is too funny. This is funny. By the way, on the podcast, which is different than the YouTube channel, there's if you go to Two Old Farts Making Noises wherever you get your podcast, or go to our link below. There's a special podcast that we do. It's about 15 to 18 minutes long. That's done by AI. It's called Deep Dive. And what they do is they take each segment of whatever show and they tear it apart in 15 minutes. And it's two AIs talking to each other. So the cigar show has it, our other shows have it. So it's very interesting. So I can't wait to see what they do with this one. This will be very interesting.
It's even more interesting for me because I am AI.
Oh, I know that. So it's just so it's one human, one AI, and when Usman here, there's two of them.
I'm actual intelligence.
Oh my God, here we
Right
go.
now, I'm not trying. I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm quite a humble person. My
Oh
opinion
my
doesn't.
God, you are.
My opinion means diddly squat to anyone. Right.
Okay.
What I get off on
I
is
beg
that
your
I'm
pardon?
able to talk at length
Hmm.
about what I think and what I feel.
Correct.
And the value of these discussions, the sort of
Hmm.
digital value of these
Yes.
discussions, is we are customers, we are travelers on
Right.
a cigar journey. And if we're not going to describe the landscape, who the fuck is?
That's
Yeah,
true.
right. You
Because
don't
nobody
need.
really does.
Well, you have influencers. They have their value. They are there. They are there. As far as I'm concerned, they're there
Right.
to inform you as to the um, as to the news, as the emerging news, what's coming, what's
Yeah,
exciting,
but they're
what they
getting
find.
paid. They get compensated to tell you what's exciting and whatever.
I think it's a. I think there's a little bit of a balance between uh, what they want you to project and what they're told for you to project.
Right. Where
For
we
them to
just tell
project.
you the truth because we don't have, like you said, we have no skin in the game. I mean,
We have no
granted,
skin in the game.
we get
Yeah.
cigars once in a while from whoever, but if we
Well,
think it's crap, we'll tell you it's crap.
well.
So
Just to be clear,
yeah.
I don't care whether one person or 100,000 people
Right.
listen to what we say.
Right.
What we are hoping, and what people
Yeah.
like me are hoping, is to build a content of work, digital
Right.
content of work, which, as two buddies, three buddies, four
Right.
buddies, however, we can look back to, we can laugh at and say,
Right.
hey, we were going through that time, we were smoking these kind of
Hmm.
cigars. This is the kind of stuff we used to talk about. And sort of like a digital love letter
Sure.
to the cigar
Industry.
smoking hobby.
Yeah.
No, don't forget the industry. Just as a
Okay.
hobby, it's
Hobby.
my hobby,
Okay.
right? And as a hobbyist, this is
Right.
an old term, hobbyists.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah,
old.
hobbyists. I still remember, like, you don't have this anymore, but there was, especially in the UK, sort of like in the late 70s, early 80s, people used to smoke pipes. Older
Yeah.
gentlemen would smoke pipes,
Sure.
and they would go into these very nice. You would have tobacconists where,
Yep.
that smelled of sort of very old,
Yeah.
musty books and pipe
Right.
tobacco and that kind of stuff. And they were hobbyists.
Yeah.
They would pick and choose the tobacco that they would put in their pipe, and
Yep.
sometimes they would blend tobacco. You'd buy two different tobacco, blend them together.
And blend together. Yeah.
It was a fun. There was some fun
Yeah.
elements to it. There was a creative element, and this is what we're trying to do in the modern world.
Yeah.
Even with social media, it's look, what I post, I do out of pure, desire to be creative
Right.
and sort of like make the moment last longer and extend the moment and have some sense of conviviality with other people who may agree with me or not agree with me, but you find a
Right.
forum where you can sit together, right?
Right.
And you find all kinds of people. But when it comes to the influencers, and influencers are, this is not real necessarily, this is a social media term. Influencers is a
Right.
social media term. It had its own meaning, but in social media, what it means is people who tell you what you should enjoy.
Correct.
That's what a
Yeah.
social media influencer does, tells you what you should enjoy.
Right. Well, we don't tell you what you should enjoy. We tell you what we like, and you can go try it.
And you can go and try it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we also, now this is what I could be wrong here, but I don't believe influencers tell you what you should not like.
That's right. They only tell you they portray a lifestyle, and then they go, you should smoke this, buy this, drink this, whatever. And we go, this is great or this is crap.
Well,
So
the
we,
subtlety is they may not be actively telling you, but that their message is basically a glorified advert,
yeah,
essentially.
basically, yeah, of
Right.
course.
Now we can do that as well. So we can elevate our enjoyable moments by reposting them, putting them on
Right.
Instagram and saying, look, I really enjoyed this moment. Let me put 15 pictures up or a few
Yeah.
videos up. I enjoy, but this forum, this particular
Mhm.
social media forum, is an opportunity also to talk about stuff you don't like. And then, well, I didn't like
Mm.
this. I didn't like
Yep.
this. I didn't like this. And who's going to get feedback?
Right.
Hopefully, people who are at the top of the industry say, like, oh, look, we released this product. People don't like this product, or people thought it was iffy,
Right.
or well, this person smokes. So one of the things I'm a little bit happy about, I won't use the
Right.
word proud of because pride is one of the seven deadly sins.
Sure.
But one of the things that I have a sort of a cheeky grin inside my own head about is the
Right.
fact that, as you know, people such as myself, Usman as well, we pretty much smoke Cuban cigars all the time. That's all we want to smoke. That's where our palate goes. That's where we
Yep.
feel that there is a product worth paying for,
Right.
right? And at the end of last year, I went out of my zone. And what do you recall which cigar I said was
I'm like, you
the
had an orgasm for the cigar of the year was the Davidoff Year of the Snake. Are you kidding? You were like, you were going to marry that cigar. So
now now so I'd like to think,
right.
this may not be true. I'd like to think that the people who make the industry,
Yeah.
whether they're from Davidoff or whether from Habanos, say, listen,
Mhm.
there's someone who smokes Cuban cigars all the time.
Right.
He's got no skin in the game, not
Hmm.
paid by Davidoff. It's not a bought and paid for person. This person is
Right.
giving very independent feedback. They fucking like that cigar. There's an anomaly here. What
Yeah.
is that anomaly? Right? I
Yeah.
mean, as in,
It was. Yeah.
if I was in the industry, I'd say, oh, look, someone
Hmm.
this is tweaked, and it's not just one person; it's other people as well. This one
Yeah.
has tweaked someone's interest, not because it's Year of the Snake, not because it's Davidoff, but it was just a
Right.
fucking amazing
And
smoke.
yeah, it was the blend of it. Everything made it great smoke.
The
It's like
blend, it
last
was
week
the
you spoke
blend that did
about.
it. It was the
Yeah.
blend
And
and
last week you.
construction that did it.
Yeah. And last week you spoke about the one that had the floral, and you met the lady, and you liked that one because of how that was constructed in the blend. So yeah. So, and
Constructed,
there's ones
pitch,
that you don't
smoke.
like.
I've
Yeah.
smoked it.
Mhm.
So we're talking about the Selectos #3. I
Yeah.
believe I've smoked it at least 5 times. I may have smoked it 6 times.
Right.
I've smoked it. It was only released 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've smoked it quite a
Yeah.
few times, um, because it's an enjoyable fucking smoke.
Yeah.
And I noticed that. So this may be reading into the situation a little bit too deeply, but I noticed
Right.
there was some sort of tension around this cigar because that particular brand of cigars has always been a short filler cigar. It's always been
Right.
considered one of the cheaper, less expensive, lower end brands.
Right.
But fucking hell. Sorry, pardon my French.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Hunters and Frankel here in the UK did a fucking amazing job. They really laid out some first of all, they laid out some excellent events.
Right.
I don't believe they upsold a cigar because upselling a cigar would mean they upsold a shitty cigar. It was a really,
Right.
really, really unexpectedly good. It's not the best smoke I've ever had, but it's
Right.
unexpectedly great smoke. Great
Okay.
smoke in
Yeah.
itself. I don't need anyone around me to tell me. I can sit on my own, smoke that cigar, and go, "Hey, this is really good."
Yeah.
It's like when in the USA you drink a lot of OJ,
We do.
freshly squeezed orange juice, yeah.
We do. Okay.
And not every place has the same quality of freshly squeezed orange juice. And from time to time, you buy it, right? You drink it and
Right.
say, "Oh, actually, that was quite nice."
Yeah. Yeah.
That happens with me. I like orange juice, right? And sometimes you buy orange juice and it's made of there's some processing. You buy it from like a store, and then
Yeah.
sometimes you pick up a bottle. It really is freshly squeezed orange juice,
Oh,
and
I
it's
thought you were
squeezed
talking
like
about like you freshly squeeze it, like what we used to like to have the press and we press it and squeeze it and it drips
correct.
into your
So no,
glass.
so
That's
not
freshly
all orange
squeezed.
juices are equal, but occasionally you pick up a
Right.
bottle and say, "Hey, that has a very deep, nice, rich flavor." It's not. It's only like
Right.
5% better, but you have that little smile on your face, and that's what
Yeah.
that cigar did. It gave me a little sort of, "Hey, that was really quite nice. I wasn't expecting too much, and
Okay.
it was really nice." Um,
Right.
and those are the moments that can pique interest, and those are the moments I believe industry leaders. I'm not talking about influencers here. I'm talking about actual purveyors,
Right.
merchants, producers,
Right.
growers of leaves, blenders, cigar merchants. I believe they should and take note of things like that. And it's it's when you critique something, not criticize. When you critique something, you
Right.
give sort of like, here's the plus, here's the minus.
Right.
That improves the industry. If everyone just said, "Oh wow, every cigar is wonderful," then that's
Yeah.
carte blanche license for everyone just to make shit cigars and charge you shitloads of money for them.
Right. I agree. I agree. No, but and that's the problem is that the influencers are like look because however they get their little on the side, and then you have like what we do, and Usman's very honest about it. I'm honest about it. You're honest about it. So we tell you whether it's Cuban or non-Cuban. It's good smoke. It's a bad smoke. Like when you bring up Camacho, Usman and like, oh my God, it's a crap. And when you as other cigars like Oliva, I happen to like Oliva. No one else likes Oliva. So it's one of those things where we talk about cigars that everyone's very honest about it, which I think is good
You
for
should
the
you
for the
should you
fan.
should you should reflect your own palate. You should reflect the things
Yeah.
that you like. You should reflect the things you don't like,
Yep.
and let the people, if they're listening, the
Yep.
market leaders, the market purveyors, if they're listening, to change or adapt their products for you. If you don't
Mhm.
say it, who the fuck has got any
Right.
incentive to do anything positive?
Right.
It's a stagnant industry then,
Right.
right? Um,
Well,
well,
Davidoff
anyway,
should be
that
thanking you because you had Davidoff sold out. I heard because of you. So there you go. So now we can't get the Year of the Snake because of RZA. Glowing review.
once again, I that's very kind of you. I don't know how true that is, but
We
I'll
just
tell you
said it on.
something. I've
We
got
said it on the internet. I'm like Trump. I said it on the internet. It's true. I don't know why, but what's the?
when it comes to that kind of stuff, I've got a
Yeah.
big mouth. I have a forum. I
Yep.
can I can post. I can
Yep.
talk about it. If it makes any difference to anyone, great. I hope in a positive sense. Oh
Yep.
yeah, that's perhaps I hadn't tried that. Perhaps there's one to try it. That's a good
Right.
thing. And on the other hand, if you really do want to smoke shit cigars, please buy yourself Olivas and etc. etc.
Ha, ha, ha. The one cigar you haven't tried, which everyone knows is my daily non-Cuban go-to, is the CAO Brazilian Amazon, and Usman likes that one.
I have
So I,
had a CAO.
yeah, but you didn't have a Brazilian Amazon. You had some other CAO, which is crap. Because I won't. The only thing CAO makes good, in my opinion, is the Brazilian Amazon. That is the only cigar that is worth smoking in the CAO line. Everything else they make is just crap. So you had something that wasn't CAO Brazilian Amazon. What's this? What do we have? Oh, you got to pull your little sticker picker out there. Sure, you got to give a little
No,
stick.
now this is called Perfect Draw. I'm using
Okay,
it now because I require the
there you
standing of
go.
the cigar. I'm trying to remove a
Look like my
central
urologist.
leaf because there is a little bit of draw issue. This is a little bit of a temperamental cigar. It's not for everyone.
Okay. This is the Voodoo
Um,
girl.
Now, this one, because I call it the Voodoo woman.
Yes.
Maybe it should be called the Voodoo doll, but I call it the Voodoo woman.
Sure.
It needs pinpricks.
Oh, like most women. So sure, I
Like
got
no,
it.
no, like a voodoo doll. Because the
Like a
whole point
Voodoo
of voodoo
doll.
doll
Okay.
um
You
is
know,
to fucking hell.
like the one girl I went to university with says nothing like a little prick. But anyway, no, but I mean, as long as you like it. But yeah, CAO though, like I said, they only make one good cigar, in my opinion. And then, can I tell you?
Well, that
That's
works.
it. There you go. Look at you. Look
Oh,
at you. You're a
by the way,
professional.
I don't know if I've shown this before. I may have. This is the
You have. Of
carbon fiber.
course it is.
I think I have shown this before.
You have.
By a friend of mine, Jose in Colombia. He makes these. J Cure London. His
Oh, very
London
nice.
company.
Okay.
Carbon fiber. It's got the punch, cigar
Oh,
punch,
very nice.
different size cigar punch on the other side.
Very
It's
nice.
got it's a really nice handy gadget. I don't really take it anywhere with me. I keep it at home.
I don't
Very,
blame
very
you.
handy gadget. Shout out to Jose. Jose, if you're listening.
Or Hose B, your brother. Sure. There you go. You can buy this anywhere
Jose
in
sitting
London. Does he have a website? You
in
can buy it online.
yeah, J Cure London. Shout
Jake,
out
you're
to
in
J,
London.
but only because I'm using it right now. It
Yeah.
wasn't a sort of a gratuitous shout out. It's only
There you
because
go,
I'm using it right.
kids. You can buy that
J
on his
Cure
website.
London.
Tell me
Cool
side here.
guy, absolutely outstanding products. I
Right.
do encourage you to first of all see these, but I think he's got one of the best ashtrays in the business. It's sort of like an
Really?
outdoor ashtray. I don't have one.
Okay.
And relatively inexpensive.
I love it. He's got the best ashtray in the business. Man, I don't have one, but you should buy it. So, yeah.
It's an outdoor ashtray. It has a grill on it,
Yeah.
and ash falls down. And so indoors in my own cigar lounge, you don't
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to have that. You can have my kind of style of.
There you
I
go.
swear by Havana Club,
Yeah, I
right?
know you
Okay,
do.
I think these are to me they're just pretty. You're not trying
Yeah.
too hard. It just says what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his stuff it's well thought out stuff,
Okay.
simple, straightforward. So I'm giving him a shout out because I'm using his product right now on air.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. A non-endorsed shout out. We do that all the time though, because you and your ST DuPont lighter thing clink all the time. So if you shout out to them.
I don't mind giving shout outs because, as
I
I
know.
say, we're not bought and paid for by anyone, right?
That's true. That's true.
If we don't want to do in it, if we don't want to say anything, we won't say anything, and if we
That's
want to
true.
say it, we'll say it. So
Yeah.
I think that is a very, very big benefit of this particular platform, this particular show that we have,
Yeah.
is that I hope we sound honest. I mean, you can debate,
Right.
all day long as to whether we know what we're talking about. That's your
Oh,
choice, right?
sure.
But I hope we at least sound honest. That
Yeah.
if we're going to love, we're going to love. We're going to hate, we're going to hate.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what the fans like. And the comments that we do get, that's what they actually like. They like the fact that we're blunt and honest. And then when the fans do engage, mostly when Usman's here, they always write to us and say, what about this? What about that? So they want the opinion of the pros, which is Usman. You and I just sit here and look pretty. But, I like it. But you in London, everyone knows you, which is good. And so everybody knows that you're going to be very blunt and honest, which is also good. So,
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We don't do the free cigar chasing. As you get
right. That's very true.
you get people saying, "Oh, AJ, you're wonderful, absolutely wonderful," and
You mean Usman? Yeah, Usman did that last week because he sucked up because he had a little brown spot on his nose. And after all the sucking up Usman did, AJ invited me to smoke cigars. And I thought that was the best. So it was very cool. So
where
unfortunately, I
is
don't
this
think.
man? Where is he? Where is he?
What is he? Either on London or to Cuba? Where is he?
Text him now and see if he
I've already
picks up and
texted
says
him.
hi. If he picks
I've
up,
already texted him. He's not. I think Usman's on his way to London or someplace. I don't think he's.
What? But why do you keep saying he's on his way to London?
All right,
What do
he's on
you
his
know?
way to Cuba.
What
Do you
do
feel
you
better?
know that I don't know about this situation?
I don't know, because this shitty grin that you have on your face, it's like we're
I
expecting
always have
Usman
a
to
shitty
pop through
grin
the
on my
door.
face.
I know, that's true. It's like, you knew he wasn't going to be here today. I could just tell. So I'm like, okay. So he's either on his way to London and the flight was delayed and he's supposed to be crashing through the door any second now, or he's on his way to Cuba for the show, which means we won't hear from him for another week. So I'm not really sure. So
I didn't say anything.
I know, just like the voodoo chick doll thing you got
This is
going on
one of
there.
those occasions when I know something and I won't say it.
That's a
This is
shocker.
one, as opposed to one of those situations where don't know something and I say it. Here's this situation where I do know something and I won't say it.
All right. But it's good. It keeps the audience in suspense till next week to see what's going to happen with the Usman. And maybe we can actually, at some point, run his intros and outros that we've made for him. He's going to have to do it special now. We'll have to do special. We'll have to have a special week, a day where he records his thing so we can get it up for people.
Usman was meant to have recorded the Ramon Allones segment for me for today, but unfortunately, from from Lahore, it's not possible without Wi-Fi to have sent it to me. So
Yeah, because
I don't want to.
Pakistan is nuked, so there's no Pakistan anymore. So we're sorry. So anyway,
Let
we'll
me
be
just
very
say
cool.
that. Let me
Here we
just
go.
say this is a
Yeah.
clue. Usman likes Chinese food.
Oh, why he's in China? Bing bang boom bang bing.
What the
Nice.
fuck? All I said was Usman likes Chinese food.
So do I, but you don't. I mean, so he's going to Singapore. Singapore doesn't have Chinese food; it's
But he
Singaporean
likes
food.
pizza as well.
Right. So he's in New York. Thank God, he's got him a good pie. Not that crap that they serve everywhere else.
This is where you're putting two and two together and making six.
I'm making 27. What are you kidding? Every good finance guy takes 2 and 2 and makes 27.
Well,
So
that's yeah,
yeah,
correct.
I got all right. Well, wherever Usman's traveling in the world, we wish him safe travels, and hopefully we will hear from Usman next week or during the week, and we'll make his little cigar review or history story, which we'll put out on Monday afternoon. If you don't see it on Monday afternoon, it's just because we can't find them. It's like where's Waldo?
I'm going to ask you to do something.
Okay, is it
So
illegal?
before next week,
Okay, yeah.
we're going to find a 15-minute slot to go live with Usman.
Whenever you want, I'm there.
I'll wait for Usman to text me from Lahore, from wherever
Bing bang
he
boom bang
is,
bing. Yeah, those people. I got it. So
and we'll go live.
okay.
Right.
Bing bang boom.
Usman's an interesting character. He is able to access parts of the industry that others cannot access.
Oh, so he's being held in a concentration camp in Cuba. I like it.
And he'll be concentrating there.
Oh, well, or he'll be using the loo. So yeah, let's you and Usman let me know, and we'll do a 15-minute live segment for the fans. And
I
we'll run his
suspect
little intro and
Usman is
outro.
watching this show right now and not
Communist bastard.
coming online.
Really, guys, we've had a viewer the whole time it started, so it could be him, and we've texted him, and he's not showing up in our group today. So, I think he's on the airplane watching. Saying could be.
Is AJ
I mean,
watching? AJ, hello.
I don't know. I don't know who's watching. I don't know what fans are watching. No one's
That
commenting
was a good
today, so
event.
I
That
have
was a
no
very good
idea.
event. I don't need to suck up. I paid to be there, so that's a fucking good
Can
event.
we ask how much you paid to be at the event?
I basically had to donate half a kidney stone.
Gotcha. All right.
To be there. It was a splendid event because and now this is custom. Now look, this is one of those very, very good opportunities to say that customer feedback makes a difference. As far as I'm concerned, I always give feedback, and I get the feeling that they listen.
Mm-hmm. Well, AJ does, and Tom. Oh, Christian listens. They listen.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they have to listen. No, I'm not saying they have to listen, but
Or
it's
if they
really
have to, we don't release their
satisfying.
family.
It's really satisfying that when you
Right.
give constructive feedback, and constructive feedback can include criticisms as well. That's called constructive feedback, right?
Right.
That people refine their product, their service,
Okay.
to ramp it up, to make it better, to
Right.
provide you a better product, a better experience, a bigger smile on your face,
Right.
a longer memory, a greater understanding, more education, all of those things. My goodness, those things, whether you're going to a sports event or you're going to a cigar event or you're eating out in a restaurant, wherever it is, if your experience is being ramped up, and sometimes the price is being ramped up as well, but if your experience is being ramped up,
Right.
that can only be a good thing.
That's true.
So no, good on you.
It's all
Good
about
on
the
you
experience.
folks at number six and wherever else events take place. So I'll say this in a very positive way. I hope everyone at the Habanos Festival has an outstanding fucking time
Yeah.
and has better events and sort of a better event than last year. And each event is better than
Sure.
the one before. I used to be in a different in a sort of different incarnation. I used to be part of the events industry for a very different niche
Right.
altogether. And I know what it is about to constantly want to strive, to want to improve
Right.
that. So, I hope everything goes really well. And I hope they listen to my constructive criticism because by the time I get there, it should
Mhm.
be a fucking amazing event.
It has to be if we show up. I think you and I and Usman should go to one of these events as a trio. And then that would be the talk of the event is like the guys from Habanos Saturday is here.
Or either that or we'll get past the gate, one or the other.
Well, it goes either way. So, that's why when he went to the one
Even
in
that's an
Doha,
event. Even not
that's an
getting
event.
in is an
It's an event.
event
That
of
would
it.
be a whole story that we could sit outside,
And we
smoke
could we
cigars
could
of
we
the
could we
event.
could we could hate on that
We can hate
for
on that
whatever.
from the outside, smoking cigars about
Yeah,
the event.
really. Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
when
yeah.
Usman invited me to go to the Doha event, I'm like, they're not going to let me in, but thanks. Yeah, it's just a Jew thing. So it's like, you know how it goes. So, but I've been there. The Doha is very nice. The people there are very nice. I love it. They're good. They're going to let some people go later, but no, it's a good thing. So, all right. So Usman is like Fine Waldo this week. We don't know where he is. Well, one person does. The other, he's not telling. He's smoking a Voodoo
I
cigar.
know where he is.
Well, we know that because he's in the basement tied up. You're smoking a Voodoo cigar with a chick on a label, and he's not going to tell us what that cigar is. And next week, we think Usman's going to be
Do you want to see the
here.
label again?
Sure, let's show the label to the fans and see if they can figure out what it is. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the label. That is really cool. I like that label. I hope the cigar is good. I would smoke the cigar for the label. What are you kidding? Because I'm superficial like that. And then next week, hopefully, Usman will be released from whatever concentration camp he's in, so he can run his little. But if he's not, then we won't be able to. So there you
In
go.
this case, Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, yes, and he's there, and it's very good. So we have that
I didn't
going
say
for him.
anything.
Yeah. So and then that's it. So I think that's the show, kids. I think it was a good
Fucking
show.
hell! You know what? Well, that's not the show yet because
Okay.
you've just triggered.
Okay.
Imagine if you're at the Habanos Festival, you're just across the road from Guantanamo Bay.
Well, not across the road, but you're close. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
as across the road as you can get
As you're going to get,
in
yes,
that part of the world, right?
it's closer than. Let's put it this way:
You and where Kirby are in Texas is closer than that.
no, anywhere in Cuba is closer than how far Kirby and I are away from each other.
That's what I
Kirby,
said.
I'm sorry, you said it like with the British. I think I have to, I have to New York it. So yeah, so it would take longer to get to Kirby than it
New
gets across
York,
Cuba.
New
New
York.
York.
You got to say New York the way that um, Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York. You know, plays Bill the
But he was
Butcher.
Irish. He did an Irish. I'm not Irish.
No, but
I'm a
that's
Jew
how
from New
that
York.
in my
Yeah.
head, in a stereotypical way, he's really got like the definitive New York.
New York.
You know, with the glass eye that he
Yeah,
can
with the
like
guy. Yeah,
tick,
right.
tick,
I'm
tick,
like,
tick,
but
tick,
see,
tick.
I'm New York. Where I get screwed up for people to know I'm from New York. Thank you. Is I say water. My water. I say water wrong. I say water like a New Yorker. Like I want water.
New Yorker.
New Yorker water. Yeah. I used to have a friend that would say 33rd and third, and it's like, dude, you got to stop.
Turd and turd.
33rd and third. Yeah.
I
Very
can, you know
Irish.
what? I can understand the New York accent because I've been watching movies my whole life, right? And
Yeah.
but nobody talks like that. When you go to New York, yeah, they don't have this.
They do. Well, actually, they do. If you go to Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, like if you go to the outer boroughs, some of
I
the
haven't
people are
actually.
still.
Funnily enough, I haven't. I don't just stay in Manhattan every single
That's
time
why.
I've been. I've stayed in Manhattan, so
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, that's why.
Accenting
If
thing.
if you go to some of the boroughs, you'll go to places and you'll see people right out of the movie, and you're just like, this is awesome. And when I go and when I have to go for business, I still go to the
Say
boroughs.
awesome. Say awesome.
Awesome.
Is there any situation where you would say awesome?
Awesome? No, because I'm not an Arsenal fan.
Awesome.
Get it?
So
Awesome.
it's
No, it's awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
Thank you for
awesome.
clarifying. Thank you for
You know, I'm here to help people learn English, and if you're learning it from me, you're screwed. So you people that are in China that are going to be invading us soon, don't get your English from me. So it'll be fine.
Are you
So
referred to in Texas where you live
yeah,
now? I don't know how long
which
have you lived in Texas, Stephen?
too long. Can't wait to leave.
Roughly.
Love 3 years, I think.
Are you still referred to as a city slicker?
Nah, no, I don't think I've ever been called a city slicker, only
Because
because
you are
one,
effectively because
I
you're
know.
from New York,
Yeah,
you know. Because I bet you don't walk around with a Texan hat and sort of like
yeah, no, that's not happening. I don't wear a hat and I don't wear a bolo. I wear real clothes. I still dress like I'm from New York. You know, I dress
yeah, city
chic.
slicker.
Yeah, city slicker, but I dress chic. So like nobody in Texas is going to wear this, right? They're going to wear whatever the kids wear, which is some sort of crappy hoodie and whatever. I dress like an adult because I'm an adult and I wear my trainers or I wear nice shoes and it just depends on my mood. So, it's a whole thing. But Texas is, it's Texas. They'll succeed from the union at some point. Or if Trump has his way, I guess it's going back to Mexico. I'm not sure how that works. So we'll see.
Very financial state.
Texas, Texas,
Dollars
yeah,
taxes.
Texas is trying to start its own in Dallas, trying to have an exchange to compete with the New York Stock Exchange now.
Uh,
That's going to be interesting. So we'll see. It's just it's the United States itself is just becoming very interesting. The last say 4 weeks. So we'll see what happens a year from now. Like I said, I've already talked to Trump about coming the Cuban czar for cigars. So if we can make that deal happen, there'll be Cubans for everybody. So that'll be good.
if Donald Trump was a cigar smoker, that would happen.
Yeah.
Donald
Oh my
Trump is
God.
not
In
a
a minute.
yeah, I know, but he's not a cigar smoker,
I
so
know.
there's no vested interest. But if let's say one day after your constitutional amendment, and if he's still alive, Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes president,
Oh, that'd be beauty. Hey, cigars. We have
it'll be the
Cubans
click.
become the next day. Well, you know what's really funny? I still don't understand why we consider them a terrorist state. I mean, first of all, they're 90 miles away. You can go there as an American. You can get on a flight from Southwest or American Airlines out of Miami or Fort Lauderdale. You can go to Cuba, right? Fill out your paperwork. I don't understand the terrorist state of Cuba. They're not doing anything.
I
So
understand precisely what's going on.
because we get a percentage of all the Cuban cigars that are sold. No, I
I,
don't.
I understand precise. What's going on is going on absolutely everywhere in the world, and has always gone on.
Which is,
People or entities,
yeah,
let's call it entities, who
sure.
run the world make up
Yeah.
the rules as they go along.
Well, that I know, but I still don't understand the thing with Cuba. It's like, why can't we import cigars? What's the big deal? We're going to hurt them.
Well,
Import and
it's the
export.
communist thing, isn't it? It's
China's
the
communist. So
communism does not
look at all the
reflect
crap we
our way
import.
of life, and
Yeah, but look at China. We import so much crap from China. We should all be speaking Mandarin.
yeah, but you've got these historical issues with Cuba. You've got the historical issues with Cuba, and so the thing, it's just a form of
Stupidity.
power exertion upon those that can't fight back.
If that's the case, then we do trade with
If
Vietnam. I don't know. They did worse than Cuba. We do
if
stuff with all these countries.
if Cuba had oil
Yeah.
coming out of it, it'd be invaded in 2 fucking seconds, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'd be like Greenland.
What
We send PS
it's got dried
137s.
leaves coming out of it,
Yeah, and nobody cares except us.
and nobody cares. And there you go.
Yeah,
And the people who are rich and
yeah,
powerful, if they want to smoke a Cuban cigar,
yeah. We
they
can
will
get them.
smoke a Cuban cigar,
Yeah,
and the masses won't. And
yeah.
that's just the way of the world, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody in America can get Cuban cigars. This is not like a secret. It's not like the whatever. So if that's not really the issue, it's more of it'd be nice just to be able to go to your chemist and say, hey, today I want to smoke a Partagas, whatever, get me a Partagas box of whatever, or whatever, whatever, whatever. Instead of having to like get some either travel outside the United States, get it, whatever to send it to. It's a pain in the butt. It'd be nice just to go be able to buy them.
Those who can, and those who can afford to do it, still do it.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, if the average cigar smoker could smoke it, it'd be fun for them to enjoy it. The people that don't and can't. That's
Yeah.
all.
No,
A cigar is not an
I
elitist
no,
thing.
I understand your lamentation on this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what can we
Yeah,
say? The world is just
no,
wired that way.
that's true. And remember, Donnie, we have lunch this week. We're going to talk more about me being the cigar czar. So hopefully we can get
You're going
that
to
done.
argue. You're going to have this argument over a bucket of KFC
Yeah, bucket of
fries.
KFC or some McDonald's hamburgers and stuff. And all I remember is the funniest thing is when we told Usman when Trump got elected, he was going to kill the embargo, and he thought it was real. The look on
Yeah,
his
yeah,
face
yeah,
was the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
The color just drained, and I was like, "Oh, good." So, and then he's like, "Wait, you're not here?" I'm like, "Of course I'm not serious." So, but that would have been cool if Donnie would have been like, "Listen, I'm signing an executive order where no more embargoes on Cuban cigars." So he'd get my vote right then and there. Like, I don't care, Donnie. Go take over the world, kill everybody you want to. As long as the Cubans are coming in, I'm good. I'm
There
just
you
trying to.
go. Some people have very
Yeah,
simple dreams.
yeah, that's my simple dream. So, do what you need to do. As long as I have Cuban cigars and my scotch, I could care less. Life is good. There you go. So, any departing words you would like to say to the fans that before we leave?
Yes, fuck off.
Ha, 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 ha. And he means that with love, like Don Rickles. So there you go. Always good to see you, my friend. Everybody, thank you for watching. Usman, wherever you are, safe travels, whether you're in China or Cuba or in some detention camp in Guantanamo Bay. If you're there, we'll come rescue you. Maybe.
He's actually
Um,
basically he's on a train between Lahore and Karachi. That's why there's no
yeah.
Wi-Fi service.
So you're just going to keep throwing shit out there. Is he going to be here? And during the week, we're going to do a 15-minute short live with Usman so we can play his and everyone will be excited. And next week, is Usman going to be here? Do you know that or do you don't know that?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh my God, here we go. All right.
I'm not his gatekeeper. I'm not his gatekeeper.
This week. Okay.
He said to me, listen, the train journey is going to be a long and treacherous one. I wouldn't if I survive it,
Hmm.
you're more than welcome to tell everyone.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't say anything.
And if he doesn't survive, then that'll be his memorial.
Epitaph.
His epitaph, yes, his memorial service. So next week we'll either have Woodsman or we'll be doing a memorial service for him. So either way, it's going to be an interesting show, I think.
Stay tuned to find out.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Riz's Instagram. You can check out all our channel's stuff below. And we'll see everybody next Saturday live. And apparently we're going to see you one day this week live. So we'll go from there. See you later, everybody. Cheers.